Hey everyone, this is Into the Fray. It is August 26, 2021, and I wanted to do a video on our supply shortages, or supply chain shortages, and the prices. And I wanted to read a couple of testimonies from my grandmother from the 70s and another testimony from a patriarch in our church from 1946. But before I do that, I was just going to show you guys this article I found. This is from July the 13th. I'm sure that there's more articles out there, but they are coming out and telling us we are going to be paying more. Prices are going to keep going up. We are not going to see prices go down. So this is our new, quote unquote, new normal, where our prices are going to start going up more and more. And, this is just the way it's going to be. And, if you've been to the grocery store lately, the meat prices are outrageous. In our area, when I went to Sam's Club last, they had a limit on chicken. So you could only get like 2 packages of chicken and, things like that. So we're starting to see this again, and it's just going to get worse from here on out. So I just kind of wanted to bring that to your attention. Please keep preparing as best as you can. Every time you go to the store, pick up a couple extra things. And I know I sound like a broken record because I've said this in the past couple of videos, but, it's super, super, super important for us to be doing this, to be proactive and preparing. And I'm going to kind of tie this all in together. Now, I want to give a shout out to my brother, Chad Karr. This is his channel here, and he has been doing amazing short stories about invasions of our country, and this is just a short video. I'm going to play it here that he was talking about the other day. I think it was Monday, and so I'm just going to play this here real quick for everybody. So, yeah, guys, let's not be scared, or fearful. They keep trying to control us with fear and all these things that are happening at once. We should be looking up and rejoicing, because we know that Jesus is coming back very soon. So that brings me on to the testimonies that I had talked to you guys about at the beginning of this video. This is from June 27, 1974, and I'm just going to read it here to you. It says, "I speak unto my covenant and most blessed children, for just as the time is swiftly drawing to an end, so is my love and concern for thee being manifested in many different and strange ways. My children, ye who are strong and have not lost faith, oh, how I do love thee. Great changes in the church as well as in the world, soon many of ye shall witness. Yet I shall call many suddenly home to be with me. Never be afraid, my little flock, for I shall protect thee. I say unto thee, study the dream of Daniel of old. Then pray that ye might receive an understanding, for it will have great meaning in time to come. And unto my handmaidens I say, Remember those things which I have warned thee of in the past would come, and to prepare thy storehouse. Now the time is very urgent. Can all you can, for as you see the prices rise even higher for food, soon it shall become so scarce people will try different means of obtaining it. This is my last warning to thee of TV. You must be a good steward of thy time, talents, as well as thy money. Remember this. Give me no more excuses for being lukewarm, for I will not accept them any more. Ye are mine, and I expect thee to show all that ye belong to me, clothed in my armor of righteousness full time. Be strong and courageous, for the great battle is soon ahead. If you need any more light on this, pray unto me, for much I have yet to say. Even so, amen. And so this was back in, 1974, almost 50 years ago. We should be preparing our storehouses, getting things for our family and our friends and people that may come to us in need. We should have been preparing this, many years, up until this time. And especially in our church, we've been warned to do this. And also, I thought it was very interesting. It was talking about studying the dream of Daniel, which me and my children are actually reading right now. And so, go back and read that if you haven't for a while or something, and just go back and read that. And it's talking about prices will rise higher for food, and it shall become so scarce people will try different means of obtaining it. What does that mean? Maybe they're going to be rioting, looting, killing, stealing. So we need to be on guard and prepared. And let's be good stewards of our time and our talents, that the Lord has given us. So there was a lot in that little short testimony. And then there's another one here. It's a little bit longer, and but I feel like we need to read it or have it read to you guys. So this was from February 6, 1973. And it says, Unto thee, my true covenant children, I speak through my handmaiden, for there are many who are disturbed and know not which way to turn. Many are going through trials which seem almost unbearable. But I say unto thee, Come unto me, cast all thy burdens upon me, and I will give thee rest unto thy soul. Ye need not carry this alone, for I am thy Creator, and I want thee to call upon me, seeking my help and my guidance. All ye need to do is pray to me, ask in faith, believing, and ye shall receive. Have I ever forsaken thee in times past? Nay, I have not. You should be rejoicing instead of weeping. You should be studying my scriptures and sing psalms of joy, for you know my coming is near at hand. My children, I have warned thee through my chosen priesthood and through my blessed handmaidens, and even through dreams and visions, which I have given thee, to have oil in thy lamps, and to get prepared for those things which are ahead. What have ye done? Have ye procrastinated, telling thyself, These things could never happen because ye are in the choice land? Have I not said, Judgment must begin in my house? Have ye not been warned in times past, that soon, yea, very soon, there will come a great shortage of many vital things, such as fuel, food, and others? Many have scoffed at this, and have said unkind remarks about this. But I say unto thee, all those who have scoffed and made mockery of this shall one day cry out to me, seeking help. Forget not the days of Noah, when he tried to warn the people of the flood. They made mockery and would not heed the warnings. the warnings. Remember also the parable of the 5 wise and the 5 foolish virgins. My children, think on these things, for if others will not heed thy warning, then leave them alone and leave them to me. They will one day be in dire need of food, fuel, and clothing to keep them warm. They will become fearful, for they will find that even their money is of no value. What are we seeing right now? The devaluing of the U.S. dollar, with Saudi Arabia and Russia forming an agreement. There will come robbing, rioting, and even killing for those things which shall be rationed, and those things which shall be greatly needed. Relatives will turn against thee and will seek to destroy thy storehouse. Many families will be torn apart. But I say unto thee, be ye careful whom ye confide in, for there will rise up a carefully planned group who will use deceitful names in order to gain thy trust. After they feel they have gained thy confidence and have received all which they have been trained to do, they will use every means in which to make thee and thy family completely under their control. See to it that ye do not weaken. Pray daily for the discernment of spirit, and I will give it to thee. Pray daily for the discernment of spirit, and I will give it to thee. We need to be praying every day, guys, to have discernment, that the Lord would guide us and direct us each day so that we won't be deceived. Many excuses will they give thee for rationing those things which ye will need, but you will know the true reason and actual motive behind it, and that it is the beginning of Satan's workers actually making ready for the Antichrist. Beware of the great racial conflict ahead. And why have we been seeing all throughout the past year and a half, racial conflicts? Watch over thy children and teach them of me daily, even though they may be young in years, for I have warned thee in times past of the terrible plans Satan's workers have designed for them. Teach thy grandchildren of me when you can, if their parents are unconcerned. Pray diligently for my holy priesthood, for many things are happening to them, and much they are going through which ye are unaware of. Ye know not of the craftiness which Satan's workers have used in trying to discourage or even to destroy them. While ye see some fall from high places, remember, this is my church, and those ye see leaving or changing my doctrine, my wrath will come down upon them. Do not allow contention and discord to come into thy home, for this is another one of Satan's plans to divide the family up against each other. After ye discern this, immediately have family prayer together, and thereby ye shall receive strength to overcome any evil force. Okay, so, I've seen this myself in my own family, having, arguments and strife and just, out of nowhere. And that is definitely of Satan. Okay, and then the last part here says, again, I say unto thee, hold on to the rod of iron and never let go. The rod of iron is the word of God. So hold on to it. Don't ever let go of it. Have oil in thy lamps and be prepared for my coming. My rewards are everlasting. Even so, amen. And so this, again, like I said, was from February 6, 1973. And my grandmother's note here says it should be read in conjunction, with this dream by Patriarch D. Bryce Woodruff from Semper, California. And it's called A Nightmare. And this dream was experienced in the early morning hours of February 23, 1946 by this man. And so this is the dream, okay? I seemed to be afloat in outer space, no stars, no vestige of light anywhere. I thought I had passed away in my sleep and had not as yet arrived at my destination. Physically helpless, yet mentally alert, my alarm grew rapidly at my inability to see or move. I prayed for light. Now a small round glow appeared from far away. Fascinated, I watched it coming close, getting larger. I was thankful rescuers were coming. The glow became brighter, the form of the global map brightly lighted from within. It darkened in places, forming outlines of various continents. The countries taken on various colors as they appear on school maps. Asia now appearing, Japan, China, India, the Philippines, Australia, the islands of the Pacific in their respective colorings. But why? Russia is bright red, like blood gushing from a ghastly wound. Now it is glowing over adjacent countries and getting redder. Sweden, Norway, Germany, the Balkan nations, a goodly portion of Italy, France, the British Isles, slowly encompassing Africa. The globe turning, revealing the North and South Atlantic, blue, serene, and peaceful. No, I'm wrong. Many of the islands having red dots rapidly becoming all red. North America comes into view, appearing clear at first sight, then appearing like a war map studded with pins, having heads of bright red glass, like a child freshly broken out with measles. Boston, New York City, Philadelphia, all larger cities along the coast, Washington, D.C., worst affected. Most towns far inland breaking out with red dots, growing larger, joining, making larger red blotches. Chicago, Milwaukee, the Twin Cities, Omaha, St. Louis, Kansas City, smaller industrial cities all turning red. On the Pacific Coast, Seattle, Portland, San Francisco, the Bay Cities, Los Angeles, and cities roundabout, Hollywood reddest of them all. San Diego, yes, it jumped into Mexico. All larger cities of South America becoming the same. But what of Canada and Alaska? They had not escaped. Now the gushing flood was coming over the top of the world, down from the polar regions, covering everything in its path, dividing south of the Canadian border, one part covering the Atlantic coast, the other the Pacific coast, both reaching far inland. The gory flood pulsating as it absorbed each red blotch. Faster, ever faster, it seemed it would engulf the entire U.S. and Canada. But what's happening now? It's getting lighter in the central states. Those red spots in and around Kansas City have turned pink, fading into white. St. Louis, Des Moines, Omaha, Denver, clearing as if by magic. The streams of blood thinning on every side, seeming to evaporate into thin air. My consuming curiosity drew me closer in order to see more clearly the cause of the apparent miracle. The righteous of all Christian faiths in America had taken refuge in the central and more thinly populated sections. They had lost faith in the government or of their individual powers to cope with the enemy. They joined their voices in prayer to God to save them from this evil power. With God's help, this federation of Christians were able to sweep the remaining forces from their midst and forward to the siege. Upon closer view, appalling sights greeted my weary eyes. Cities gutted by fire, skyscrapers, piles of rubble, factories and power plants blasted to bits, coal mines, oil fields ruined, water storage systems destroyed, all transportations and communications dead. The stench of millions of dead bodies filled my nostrils. Even most farmers living in the more densely populated sections, as well as their livestock, dead and rotting where they had fallen. Every U.S. naval base laid waste and made impotent. Close investigation revealed no invading army, no naval forces had done this thing. At a given signal, millions of red dependables within our borders went on strike, blasting, burning, destroying every resource with which our nation could defend itself. These same dependables had been permitted to infiltrate every branch of our government, every labor organization, to hold key positions in each. When all acts of sabotage had been performed, our Army, Navy, and Air Forces made impotent, thousands of red planes came out of the north, dropping bombs filled with deadly bacteria upon each important and densely populated sections of the nation. The germs released proved far more deadly than the atomic bomb ever could be. Millions of these dependables were killed along with the populace in this mad orgy. The Red Ruler was no longer strong enough to further resist his desire for world conquest. All this occurring in 1 week, 7 days. Almost half of our citizens either dead or dying. Nothing left but parched earth. The good earth God gave us to live righteously upon, and to bear and rear a God-fearing generation that would seek God first, and the mandates of man lastly. We had failed him, had fostered followers of Antichrist among us that would destroy the blessing that God so freely gave us. What now? By every means of radio covering every wavelength, using all known languages, the Red Ruler claims dominion of the entire world. Yet another voice, all-powerful, seeming to come from everywhere, saying, the Antichrist has risen. He would now rule the world. O Son of Man, speak out boldly and warning to your fellow man. If thou art not with me with thine whole heart, thou art against me, and shall surely die. And so I wanted to read a couple of scriptures here. This one is from, I think this is Matthew 24, verse 44. But as it was in the days of Noah, so it shall be also at the coming of the Son of Man. For it shall be with them as it was in the days which were before the flood. For until the day that Noah entered into the ark, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. We need to not be taken unawares when these things, we've had so many signs the past year and a half. I truly hope and pray that everybody has been preparing. You know, the Lord has given us a lot of extra time. It seems like this whole past year and a half has been an extra time for us to get our houses in order. And I can't tell you how many times I've heard that phrase in the past 2 weeks, get your house in order. And I keep hearing it over and over from different people. And when I finally quit my last job, which was in the healthcare, medical, industrial complex, and I quit working, came home to help my husband here and to finally be a stay-at-home mom that I had wanted to do for so long. You know, right after I did that, I heard in my head, you know, get your house in order. And this was 4 years ago. And it's been a really difficult road for me personally because my husband hasn't always been on board with, you know, preparing, you know, whether it be spiritually, mentally, or physically. There's always something, you know, in our lives that tries to pull us away and tries to distract us. And we've had a lot of distractions in our life. So, you know, I don't know what else to say to that, but it just came to my mind right now. And, you know, it's just something that personally I've gone through, I'm going through, and it's really difficult. But we also need to, you know, trust in the Lord and have faith that He will help us, you know. And also, as long as we are doing what we can, you know, I really think that the Lord will help us. He will be with us and He will strengthen us. Here's another scripture from Jeremiah 25, verses 31 through 33. A noise shall come even to the ends of the earth, for the Lord hath a controversy with the nations. He will plead with all flesh. He will give the wicked to the sword, saith the Lord. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, Behold, evil shall go forth from nation to nation, and a great whirlwind shall be raised up from the coasts of the earth. And the slain of the Lord shall be at that day from one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. They shall not be lamented, neither gathered nor buried. They shall be dung upon the ground. And another thing I wanted to bring up, my mother-in-law, she lives out of state from us. You know, it's a long drive to get to her. She really doesn't have much in the way of preparedness. You know, she's not very prepared. And we went down to visit her back in May. And the conditions that she works in is basically a sweatshop. And she's okay with this, though, and it's hard to understand, you know, unless you come from like a third world country like she does. And so a couple of weeks ago, it was last month, I believe, at the end of July, I think it was, she called me crying, and she said, my employer says that I have to get the toxin or else I can't work here anymore. And she was crying, and she's like, I don't know. She said, I just told her, well, then I guess I'll have to quit then because I'm not going to get it. And, you know, I told her, I was like, you know, why don't you move here with us? We'll help each other, you know, and, you know, we'll live together, you know, and help take care of her. She's getting up in years. She's in her 70s, and it's just really difficult. But it's a decision that each of us are going to have to take. This is why we prepare, because we know there will come a day when we can't go to the store, we can't go to the gas station, we can't go to the doctor unless we have that mark. And there's lots of people out in the prepper community saying, oh, this is not the mark. Well, they're saying that you can't buy or sell or go do anything without this. What does that sound like to you? You know, people just aren't, I don't know if these are like disinformation agents out here or what. And a lot of people in the prepper community are saying, oh yeah, coronavirus, I'm sorry, I can't even talk. Coronavirus is real, and you know, it's going to get us, and we need to prepare for it too. Folks, I have been not wearing masks. I've been going and living my life as normally as possible. I have not gotten sick. I did get a little bit of a cold once in the past year and a half, but that was it. There is no diseases going around yet. And it just really bugs me that I see people saying things like that it's real. Well, first of all, the CDC has never isolated a strain of it. They cannot prove its existence. And just for people to go around saying that, especially on these popular channels and stuff, it's been getting on my nerves, and so I also needed to say that in this video. So, if anybody is still here with me, thank you. I've been super busy, you know, helping my husband with our work. I've been homeschooling. I've been trying to write a memoir of abuse that I've gone through, and trying to make it an uplifting book from a Christian perspective, and kind of like an outsider, because I've never fit in anywhere. And so that's kind of what I've been working on lately. I haven't been doing as many videos. One, because of all of those things I'm doing, and two, I just haven't felt led to do anything until a couple of days ago. I came across some of these testimonies, and I was like, I have to share these with my subscribers. So I just felt led to do this. So anyways, I just want to give everybody a little bit of something to think about. You know, we are going to have to make a choice. We can't be lukewarm like in that one testimony was talking about. We can't sit on the fence and just be like, well, I don't know. No, we can't do that. We're going to have to make choices. We're going to have to decide, who are we going to follow? Are we going to follow Jesus, or are we going to follow the way of man and do what the world is doing? Even though the Lord has told us we need to be separate. Yeah, I see that. We need to be separate and clean from the world. So that's all I really want to bring to you guys tonight. I really hope you guys are all doing well. Leave me down in the comments section, you know, your thoughts, any scriptures that you feel led to share, and I will see you all next time.